Hey trackies, welcome back to another video. Please remember to smash that subscribe button, hit the like button as well. That's how the video gets to the YouTube algorithm. Share the video if you care. I hope y'all care, so share. And yes, please sound off in the comment section below. Now, I've been meaning to do this video for a minute, but look here, the track and field action is coming through thick and fast, so I really have to be focusing on current results, and then I can give you my think pieces later on. So this is another think piece, right? So this happened for me immediately, after watching the result and watching her performance, and that was Tia Clayton. Of course, Tia Clayton lined up, recently, and she shattered her personal best, right? Running a 10.82 seconds. And I said, like literally, that was me, after watching her performance. Because let's go back a bit. Let's go back to London. Let's go back to the women and the 4x100 meters, where we saw Shericka Jackson running to Janelle Smith, to Tina Clayton, to a Brianna Williams. And of course, coming out of that, the performance, wasn't really what we were looking forward to, especially given the execution, I thought, from a couple of the athletes. But outside of that, I was just wondering, like, what the heck is going on here? Like, what's going on with these, positionings? Why are we, placing certain athletes on certain legs? Like, what is the thought process here? What is going on, Jamaica? This is not it. If this is our thought process heading into the World Championships, in our work. You know what I mean? That was literally me. But MVP was around there, cooking up their typical stew that, we didn't know that was happening on the back end, clearly, because a lot of us, including myself, weren't really expecting to see Tia come back, for this season. We're probably thinking that, okay, she'd probably just sit out, get, absolutely healed, and, forward back, for the other seasons to come, 2026, so forth. Especially given the fact that, the Diamond League finals and so forth will be coming, before the World Championships, unlike other seasons where, it's at the end, right? So I was like, okay, maybe we won't get to see her, for the rest of the season. However, she turns up and, as I said, shatters her personal best in the 100 meters. So I start to see, oh my gosh, MVP already knew clearly is their athlete. And of course, the head coach for the relays is also part of MVP. That's Paul Francis, right? So they knew that Tia would be back and back to her banging shape. And they structured that relay thinking that, okay, this is how we're going to adjust the athletes heading into the World Championships. So the adjustment is, yes, Shericka Jackson will be running the first leg. Now, I know some of us may prefer Shericka running third, but it seems as though Shericka, one or two things: either Shericka Jackson is really bad at handing off the baton and receiving at one go. So receiving from the second leg and also handing off, maybe she can't handle doing two things, at one time. So they're like, okay, let's slot her onto, the first leg. Or there's probably just an issue with her, handing off to a Tia Clayton. Not sure, because I remember watching, Tia hand off to Shericka, and it never looked like it was working. That was the first relay that, MVP did, back earlier on in the season in Miramar. I hope some of y'all remember that, handoff to Shericka wasn't really working off. So maybe even if you flip it, that Tia to Shericka or Shericka to Tia is not working out. So they're like, okay, let's just slot Shericka on first. All right, I'm fine with that. It's still a curve, and we saw Shericka on the first leg as well in London, and she looked good to me. And especially as well, taking into consideration now how I want, Team Jamaica to possibly look against the other teams, right? So we're looking out for Team America, and Great Britain looks really good. But taking into consideration that Melissa Jefferson Wood is now a 10.6, athlete, you have to really, start to curve that speed from the beginning. You can't wait till the end, you know what I mean? So you kind of have to start, thinking about Jamaica possibly front loading the team, and Shericka being on first is not a bad idea, right? She's already so far this season 10.8 seconds. So taking those things into consideration, you're like, okay, Shericka is good enough to try to curb whatever Melissa Jefferson is doing. Now, as I said, in London, they had Janelle, Smith on second, and I was like, okay, what is the thought process here? Because so now you start to wonder to yourself, is Janelle gonna be running seconds? But that's not the thought process. So you remember how I said Janelle on second, Brianna Williams on actual anchor, right? Guess what? Let's just pop Janelle Smith out, and guess who you put right there on second? Shelly Ann Fraser Price. Remember, she was not a part of the relay in London, right? And yes, I was taking her into consideration, right? So I'm saying, okay, we're gonna pop out Brianna clearly, right? I know that's the thought process. Are they thinking of putting Shelly Ann Fraser Price on the anchor leg? No, 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 no. The plan is to keep Shelly and Fraser Price on backstretch. I told y'all, for me, Shelly on any straight really works. Of course, we would prefer her on anchor because she's just, really, destructive. However, considering her experience, you want to make sure that the baton doesn't slow down. You want to see something like what Oblique Civil did, on his, backstretch, right? Running in the same London, event, right? Or Diamond League event, right? That's what you want to see Shelly do. So that's really the reason why I've always started Shelly, on the back stretch. So guess what? Shelly slotted into backstretch. I'm not necessarily comfortable with Tina, on the third leg. I would actually rather them switch Sharika and Tina. I think Tina is probably better out of the blocks than a Sharika Jackson and then keep, Sharika on third. But for now, it works. Let's just put it that way. It works. So Tina on third and the new and improved Tia Clayton on anchor leg. So that for me, track is the relay that MVP has been cooking up this whole time. We never saw it in London because I swear nobody was thinking about Tia and the thought of her coming back. But the moment I saw her, I said, okay, it makes absolute sense. It makes absolute sense. So that's Jamaica's relay. And I have to tell y'all, that is a really, really strong relay. And let me just say, that relay is going for gold. Now, when I take into consideration Team America, that's Melissa Jefferson Wooden. No, don't get me wrong. America has, the capability to turn into ninjas. And all of a sudden, we're doing things we've never done before in our lives on relay legs. You know what I mean? So there's that for working for them. But outside of that track is just from a foot speed perspective. Again, Melissa Jefferson is really the standout athlete for them. But everybody else is, 10-8 slash slower, right? And especially if you're taking into consideration using a Shakira Richardson on anchor leg that hasn't dipped below 11 seconds all now this season, then you start looking at the possibilities of, okay, Jamaica making up, the deficit on America, on second leg leading into third leg, right? Based on a Sharika and also Shelly to Tina, right? Whatever, gap was developed based on that first leg from Melissa Jefferson Wooden, we should be able to take that back on those same three legs that are running, right? And then into Tia Clayton, that's running her best, that is potentially going to be so much faster by the time she heads into the World Championships. Track is, that's a gold medal winning team right there. I told y'all that Team Jamaica is looking better and better as the days go on, and I'm here for it, and I'm absolutely excited. And I'm excited to see this women's 4x100 meters. And I'm just hoping that, when it comes to them handing the baton off, it goes seamlessly for them. And yet, Team Jamaica will be able to pull off, in my opinion, on the gold medal here. So let me know your thoughts when it comes to the 4x100 meters. Did you go also aha when you saw Tia Clayton run her personal best and say, yes, that was why the relay was looking so shoddy in London, right? So now you understand MVP's thought process. Were you the same as I, was back then watching, Tia run that personal best? And also, do you think, given what we're witnessing with Team Jamaica, that we can walk away with gold? I definitely think we can. Also, Chakis, I just want to note, I still am for the relay pool. So it means that I'm still hoping to see athletes like Ashanti Moore be a part of the relay team. So hopefully maybe we can see her on, the Heat's team, probably running on third leg there, giving her a really good opportunity to earn a medal as well, right? So I'm for, as I said, the actual pool. So let's see the pool of athletes that they pull together for this women's 4x1. But as it relates to the team that will be running in the finals, I definitely think they're very capable. Let me know your thoughts. As I said, like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.